Back to some full body, upper body, lower body coordination movement. Let's start with alternate heel lifts. And you can go into arm reaches or swings, but they're very controlled swings. So as you are lifting one heel from the floor, your opposite arm is extending forward. The other arm is reaching back as far as you can. Now we're keeping this one pretty slow and controlled because I also want us to incorporate a little upper body, upper torso rotation. So as you reach your arm forward next time, your opposite heel is lifting, and I also want you to turn your head that direction of the side that your heel is lifting and the arm that's reaching back. And then slowly shift right on through. So your opposite heel lifts, other arm extends forward, other arm extends back, rotate your head that direction. So slow and controlled. Arm swings or reaches, opposite heel lifting, and head turning. So a bit of a novel movement, a lot going on there. And of course you can always make this shorter lever if your shoulders need that little extra support or if the arms are getting tired. One more time, turning and lifting your heel away from the floor, and then let's square off back to center. Shake out the arms, the hands, the fingers, and again, some rolling through your shoulders. That might feel really good. Awesome. All right, back to some deep core strengthening. Let's go back to, well, make sure your feet are well planted to the floor, okay? And then you're gonna rock slowly back and forth. You can keep with this, and you can even kind of support yourself more if needed, or you can also add in those arm curls as you lengthen up and back, and full extension coming forward and down. Inhale. Well, actually, this would be a good time to exhale, truthfully, because you're engaging your abdominals, and then you can relax those a little bit as you lean forward and extend, take a full inhalation. See how that might work for you. A couple more times. Good. Wonderful. And last one, maybe even holding it back. Only if you feel comfortable, you can still breathe, and there's no pain or pressure anywhere in your body. Just strength and tone, without a doubt. And then we'll sit up nice and tall. Full complete breaths, balancing out the hips and the sits bones. And then let's try some pelvic tilting. So you might place your hands on your pelvic crests here to feel that tilt, even if it's very subtle for you. Tilting back, you're gonna round your back body a little bit more. Coming up and forward, tilting forward, you're gonna really open up your belly and front body here, exaggerating the curvature of your back, your lumbar spine especially. You can incorporate the upper torso, your rib cage, and your shoulders, or the thoracic spine, from the mid-spine up to the neck. And that would be arms kind of rolling forward or reaching forward as you tilt your pelvis back, coming up and maybe sliding your hands up your thighs, drawing your shoulders back, squeezing your shoulder blades together to really open and broaden your chest as you tilt your pelvis forward. Let's play with this for just a few more times, moving along with your breath. So let's try exhaling as you tilt your pelvis back and round into what we call the cat stretch. Inhale as you tilt your pelvis forward, draw the hands back, or at least the shoulders back, maybe even lifting your chin. That's the cow stretch that we call it in our more Western yoga exercises. But really it's more biomechanically, it's this spinal flexion and extension, which we know is very, very nurturing and nourishing and healing for the spine, all of its supportive connective tissues, and as the nervous system as well that runs through it. So lots of good stuff there. Neutral pelvis now. Neutral pelvis, your sits bones are pointing straight down into the chair beneath you, allowing you to have the most elongation up through your spine as possible. I'd like you to maintain that lovely length, your central channel staying nice and stationary, so you're not hunching or rounding off to one side or the other. You're staying nice and tall and just gradually rotating around that central channel. Your head can turn along with it, shoulders, chest. Just kind of letting the arms either swirl around you very subtly and gently, or if you want, you can reach out wide. Or if you have furniture around you you need to clear, bend at the elbows, keep broad across the chest and shoulders. Breathe, and let's rotate around to each side one more time. Internal stabilizers helping you out, and then coming back to center. Inhale and exhale, lower those arms right on down. We'll just do a little bit of focus for the neck here for a few moments. Let's do chin tilt in and up. So you're gonna try to like tuck your chin into the notch of your collarbones up here. So you're bringing more length and stretch to the back of the neck here. Then lengthen back on up. Now, not just tilting the head back, but lifting the chin strongly to get a little length and opening through the front of the neck. Also, let's exercise the eyes, the eyebrows, looking up, and then tucking back in and towards the notch of the collarbones with your chin. Doing that a few more times. Feel free to pause and hold either of these positions longer as you feel that is beneficial for you, whether you tend to be very, very tight in the back of your neck. Holding that for a few more breaths, or if you want that little extra expansion, reach length through here, strength and stability through the back of the neck, and then activating those facial muscles to lift your eyebrows, lift your eyes, open gaze, and of course mindful blinking. And then tucking the chin down and in is what I like to do, at least for my final movement through here, so I get that extra bit of stretch to the back of the neck, and then re-lengthen up, straight up through the spine, out through the crown of your head. Shaking your arms on out to your sides, and then let's bring the palms together. Line up all your fingers and your thumbs as close together as they can be, helping each other stretch out fully, lengthen out fully. Do a little side-to-side movement with these hands through the wrists. Again, nice, slow and controlled mobility exercise here. One hand and wrist helping the other one out. And then let's point those fingertips straight up towards the ceiling and bring the thumbs in close, maybe even touching your sternum. We'll go through a few rounds of Robin's breath here next. Start with a full inhalation fully through the length of your spine. Exhale, reach forward, maybe even tuck your chin down and in. Inhale, open wide apart, look up. Lift your eyebrows, look right, look left. Exhale, come forward, tuck your chin, soften your eyes. Lengthen up through your spine as you inhale and bring your hands back into your heart center. Beautiful. So now we're gonna reach the arms forward one more time, but instead of going through the full round of Robin's breath, we're gonna open wide with an inhalation. And this time, as you come back forward, cross your right arm over top of the left to any degree that you can. And then again, open out really wide. Inhale, exhale. This time your left arm crosses over the right. And inhale, opening wide. So I want you to continue moving with your breath, but if it's feeling pretty good through your shoulders and everything, maybe you can even wrap your arms around you as you cross one over the other and just kind of reach lightly around you, giving yourself a brief little hug, and then inhale, back out wide once again. One more time, you're crossing the right over the left. And one more time, crossing the left over the right. And now this time we're gonna hold it. So reach around, right arm over top of the left. Make it comfortable for you to be here in some way with your right arm on top of the left. So if your arms are down lower for your shoulders, that's fine too. Whatever you feel you can do, but just try to let the shoulders and arms relax as much as they can. And if they can't be very relaxed like this, then go ahead and just put your hands down on your thighs. Either way, we're gonna let the shoulders balance out, long length of spine up through the crown of your head as you inhale, and as you exhale, tilt your left ear over towards your left shoulder. Take a few breaths. This is a great time to practice mindful blinking as you kind of look around as your head is tilted a different way. This could help you exercise your eyes and bring in the visual field here. You can also tuck your chin down and in closer to your upper body. I might suggest kind of tracing your collarbone with your chin from the center up a little more towards your left shoulder, if that feels okay. Good. And get yourself ready to lengthen back up through your spine. Inhale, up, up, up through the full length of your spine. Exhale. Inhale, reaching out wide with the arms. Once again, stretch out, stretch open. Inhale, and then exhale. Come forward, crossing your left arm over top of the right this time. Search around for a way that you could be comfortable here. Maybe your arms are lower, higher. There might be creatively supporting yourself here. Just try to make it work for you comfortably, and if it can't be that, then just let your hands rest on your thighs. Full complete breaths up through the length of your spine, out through the crown of your head, and as you exhale now, let's tilt your right ear over towards your right shoulder. Relax a little bit, breathe. And of course, feel free to explore some different options, like tracing your chin from more of the center and up your right collarbone towards the shoulder. That could be one interesting option here. Or just tilting the head off to the side, little micro movements, or staying still as you breathe and working eye movements like mindful blinking and gazing around at different points of the space that is in your visual field over there. Good. Get yourself ready to elongate back up through your spine with an inhalation, up, 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 and out, all the way through the crown. And then exhale here in a next inhalation, reaching forward, open out wide, stretch out really wide. Exhale, come on down, relax the arms, relax the shoulders. Back into either alternate heel lifts or marching steps. So whatever works best for you, and yes, maybe bringing in upper body along with this in some way. Tone through your deep core, especially if you're gonna lift your knees higher or go faster or stomp harder with your feet down. Any of those, we wanna be a little extra stabilized, but might as well work that really good engagement whenever we're doing anything fairly athletic. And I definitely consider this exercise athletic. You know, if you've done it enough like we have in here, it can definitely get you amped up. Blood flowing, heat, definitely getting heated up through the body. So we'll do just a little bit more if you've got that in you. And when you feel ready, plant those feet back on down. Relax as you ground down through the feet. Balance out through the hips and the pelvis, long length of spine, and out through the crown of your head. Full and complete breaths. Very good. We're gonna keep kind of amping things up and working strength and stability just a little bit longer here. And this could be an area that, once again, your little weighted ball could be useful. Also, the block. The block could be a good replacement if you don't have the fit ball, or maybe you find it works out better. Let me show you first with the fit ball, or the little ball, I should call this. If you can comfortably reach it and bring it on up and wrap your hands around both sides, stretch your fingers out, might as well while you're with that, and bring it in to your navel center area. There we go, good. So navel center up to heart center. You can work in between these two places of centeredness and stability. But what we're gonna do is a little seated crunch, where you'll be pressing through the ball of your feet, both balls of the feet, and lifting your heels from the floor, rounding your spine, rounding your back like you're crunching in. Suck your belly button back towards your spine, and you're gonna kind of round forward with that fit ball. Lengthen back up, lower your heels back down, stretch up, and if your shoulders don't mind, maybe even reach that ball up. So then it comes back to either heart center or navel center. I'm gonna keep mine at the heart center. Lift the heels, round, crunch in, then lower the heels, lengthen the spine, and lift back up. So that's one option here as we do a little bit more of, abdominal strengthening and spinal maneuvering. If you don't have the fit ball, or if this does not work for you, try with the block like we often have. Give it a little squeeze in between your knees, or I like mine just above my knees, right there at the lower thighs. And then you can just kind of pretend that you're holding on to something, maybe a couple handlebars up here around your shoulders or up by your ears, whatever works best for you. Similar kind of thing. Squeeze the block, lift your heels as you ground down through the balls of your feet, and then crunch inward. And then lower the heels as you lengthen the spine and come back up. And if you want to add in the arm reach, that's totally up to you and your shoulders. Optional, but can be a nice little added extension. Crunching in, lifting the heels, lower the heels, lengthen back up. Again, moving with your breath. You're going to exhale as you crunch, crunch, crunch in, and inhale as you lengthen back on up. So this is a seated crunch yoga style. What does that mean? Slow and controlled and very deliberate, and moving with your breath, and not feeling like you need to jerk or use momentum in any way. You're really using your body's positioning and very slow, deliberate movements that will really make your whole body work together to engage and strengthen, and then balance out the engagement with the opposite extension. So that's where the length of the spine comes in, and maybe even the reach of the arm. So let's do a couple more times, your style, crunching in and lengthening back out. And then I'll suggest ending the series by extension and length to your fullest extent that feels good. Lowering the arms down comfortably and placing whatever prop that you may have used off to the side. Well done, everyone. Awesome. Okay, so I think we're ready for a little more of a relaxing stretch. Forward fold. Seated forward fold is the first thing I would suggest. And so if you have a prop like a bolster, as many of you do, and by the way, those of you coming to the in-person class, we will have all these props here for you, everything you see here, so you don't need to bring any props. Certainly if you want to bring any favorite props, you're welcome to, but you don't have to. We will have these all here for you. So seated forward fold with a bolster supporting you, or if you don't have that or want that, you've got your arms or hands on your thighs, leaning forward, kind of propping yourself up, or possibly even draping your body over your thighs and letting your body relax into the forward fold like that. Now, of course, as I've mentioned many times before, the seated forward fold is just one of a number of options to get this kind of a stretch. And also the compression that we create, mostly kind of in the front body and the abdominals, that there's also an added benefit to that as long as you can breathe. So if you find that you are getting into too much compression, that the breath is just very, very shallow, and you feel like you're getting uncomfortable with that, then your job is to get your body into a little more of a supported position, upright just a slight bit more maybe, so that you can still take your full and complete breaths.